Hello and welcome to our channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look back in time and explore some of the things that people used to do 100 years ago that might seem strange or even bizarre to us today. From outdated social norms to outdated technologies and practices, we're going to delve into some fascinating examples of how much things have changed over the last century. So sit back, relax, and join us on this journey through time as we discover some of the curious customs of the past that will leave you wondering, what were they thinking? The world we live in moves so quickly. There are things we use today that will be obsolete by 2020, that it's no surprise that it was completely different a mere century ago. Take a look around your home. 100 years ago, there were no fridges, or microwaves, or hairdryers, and very rarely did someone have a bathroom, let alone 2 or 3. Your medicine cabinet wouldn't be filled with Advil or Tylenol, but over-the-counter heroin or mercury. 1. There was essentially only one type of car, the Model T, and barely anyone drove. Before the invention of the Model T, also known as a Tin Lizzie, in 1908, car ownership wasn't feasible for the everyday American. But, once the somewhat affordable, $850 car hit the streets, people all over the country began learning how to drive. It's hard to imagine almost no one learning how to drive, and only having one real option to choose from. In 2009, 87% of the driving-age population had driver's licenses, and today there are hundreds of car brands and models to choose from. 2. Horse and buggies were commonplace. It apparently took cars 50 years to fully unseat horses as the preferred mode of transportation. One of the reasons why is that horses were also useful in rural areas, where they doubled as both transportation and work hands. Cars aren't exactly helpful in that way. Now, riding in a horse and buggy is mainly just a tourist activity. 3. Letters and parcels were largely mailed by trains, trucks, or even motorcycles. The first airmail ever was sent in May 1918. Today, communication can be transmitted instantaneously by email or phone, but back in 1918 that luxury didn't exist. While the U.S. Postal Service is still around today, it's continually losing money as less and less people are mailing things. 100 years ago though, people were marveling at the idea of flying mail across the country. 4. Had an infection? Your doctors might prescribe bloodletting, aka leeches. Penicillin was still a decade away. Bloodletting was actually recommended as a treatment for infections and other ailments all the way through the 1940s, which seems unreal today. Mercury, a literal toxic substance, was used to treat syphilis for many years. Popular beauty treatments were no less harmful. Penicillin would be discovered in 1928 by Dr. Alexander Fleming. It would take 2 more decades for a patient to be successfully treated by it. 5. Heroin and other opiates were available as over-the-counter medicines. Heroin was first introduced in 1898, and was included in many cold remedies as well as cough syrup. Morphine, opium, and cocaine too were being sold at pharmacies across the country. Now, heroin is known as a highly addictive and dangerous drug, and the opioid crisis was declared a public health emergency in 2017. 6. People all over the U.S. were pushing for prohibition, the complete ban of alcohol. The temperance movement, which pushed the government to ban the consumption and production of alcohol, first started in the 1800s. The first state to ban alcohol completely was Maine in 1846. The movement only gained power until the 18th Amendment was passed in 1920, which officially amended the Constitution to include a federal ban on alcohol. Now, it's a given that alcohol is legal in the U.S. In fact, people are pushing for the federal legalization of a different substance, marijuana. 7. The movies that people flocked to see were not just black and white, but entirely silent. Silent movies are seen as quaint in 2018, but 100 years ago they were the height of innovation. In 1918, going to the movies was a fairly new activity. The first movies were shot in the late 1800s. 8. Women left behind corsets, only to trade them for girdles. According to fashion history, in 1916, Stanford Mail Order Company, New York, marketed girdles to misses and small women. If you don't know what a girdle is, don't feel bad, they're not really used today. They replaced corsets as the favorite undergarment of women in the 1910s, but they've since been replaced by Spanx. A girdle is essentially a less form-fitting corset. It wasn't as tight, but still changed the body's shape. These are only 8 things that I have told you I will tell you rest in second part. Thank you for watching this video and for your continued support. We hope you found the information helpful and that it provided value to you. In the second part of this video, we will be discussing even more insights on the topic we covered today, so make sure to stay tuned for that. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and we'll do our best to get back to you. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our future videos.